My cat is playing with a toy right now.
It's what that little ruffling is.
Do you hear it in the background?
Only slightly.
Oh, slightly.
Unless I was you like shifting in your chair.
Oh no, I'm not sitting in a chair again. Again, I'm standing. This is the third week in a row.
Yeah, I'm starting to think I need to get like a standing desk.
We're promoting a healthy lifestyle here at Punch Drunk Nerd.
Tell me about it. I really wanted a standing chair. Standing desk at church.
At work? Yeah.
At work.
Church and work. And anywhere you go.
It is my church.
Yeah, exactly. Another place is our church is the theaters. That's our church.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Every Sunday, Tuesday, Friday, whatever it calls to me.
Yeah. Another place, another church is Punch Drunk Nerd. Welcome back to Punch Drunk Nerd. We are here again for another week. Sadly, Miguel isn't here. It's just us two, me, Luis Gonzalez, and
Ed Bull.
That's right. But we're still going to talk about nerd shit like we do every single week. No reviews this week, but we are going to talk about the movie business, the streaming business. We're going to have a little bit state of streaming discussion today, as well as a bit of some quick news, and then we're going to wrap it up with what we're into. But really, Ed, since we were so light this week, and we didn't want to do a review on 80 for Brady, okay? We weren't going to do anything like that. I wanted to talk about two big things that happened with AMC theaters and Showtime. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you've heard about the AMC theaters thing, right?
Oh man, yeah, got my blood boiling.
Basically, what they're doing with AMC theaters, news was out that they're going to start pricing seats in different portions of the theater. So if you're up close, cheaper. If you're right in the middle, more expensive, first class. And then if you're in the outskirts, you're going to stay in the normal ticket range area. They even have names. If you want to sit in the front, they're called the value sightline. And if you want to have, a standard seat, maybe not in the middle, not in the front, well, guess what? That's called a standard sightline. But if you want to be a king, if you want to see the movie in the perfect place like Ed and myself, you're going to have to pay the preferred sightline price. Now, luckily for me, I am an AMC Stubs A-list member. I will not be affected by this at all. I'll still be able to book my IMAXs, my Dolby Cinemas, my Primes, my 3Ds, my preferred sightline 3 times a week. No problemo. But this is unfortunate. I think this is a situation where a lot of people aren't going back to the movie theaters. Before pre-pandemic, there's been a decline in movie theaters, people staying at home, and the studios are having trouble putting movies out there that are getting a big box office hit. But before I keep going, Ed, what were your initial thoughts hearing about the AMC theaters price rise?
I think I popped a blood vessel. It just immediately sounded very elitist, very unnecessary. And just to what you were saying, excuse me, it just sounded so out of touch. And just not a solution to bringing people back into the theaters. Not at all. Most theaters these days have adopted the reserve seating format, which I think is great. I think that's a better way to sell tickets. It also, basically goes to first come, first serve. And there are some people out there like you and I who like to buy our tickets a month or the moment they become available, especially for event movies, namely like Marvel films and stuff like that. Also, those movies that you want to enjoy with a crowd. Similarly with maybe comedies or whatever. And this just seems like I said, very out of touch and ill-advised way to really kind of introduce a kind of elitist attitude into what should be a communal experience, or can be a communal experience. And don't get me wrong, I would be the first person to admit that movie-going isn't always perfect. Take The Whale experience, for example. Just like you're not going to be able to get rid of people who are not going to be or follow etiquette, I guess. You know, that's going to happen everywhere.
Recount your whale experience for people who maybe missed it.
Yeah, so basically I just had a guy who, from the experience, he just did not know what movie he was getting into. He was laughing at none of the fun. I mean, there were, if you could even like count in one hand how many funny moments there are in the movie The Whale. He was laughing at every major dramatic scene.
That's rough.
Maybe out of discomfort or whatever, but he was also very blatantly just scrolling on his phone, which was very bright. He, maybe midway through the movie, he got asked to put his phone up. And then when the credits rolled, he decided to confront the people who told him to put his phone away and were like getting in their face. He was like, "What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? You're going to tell me to put my phone away? What are you going to do about it?" And like, he did put his phone away.
Yeah.
But it was just...
Wait, he must have been bubbling up through that whole movie, just how pissed he was.
Oh man, absolutely. But it's just like,
but also like, yeah, who
read the vibes? Read the vibes.
What is the audience here? Like, it seems the audience who's going to go see The Whale are people who, you know, want a movie experience, want to be there for the cinema. I don't see anybody casually watching movies just to be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna hop into The Whale and watch it like I do, you know, I don't know, guys' grocery games.
Research, and I know we do our research. We know what movies we're getting into, and maybe his girlfriend dragged him into it.
Was it him? Was he alone, or was he with somebody?
No, he was with somebody. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
But he.
How embarrassing for the other person to witness
them
yelling at the other person.
Or just like, you know, shame on you for not letting him know what movie you were getting him into, because like the way that it was almost instantaneous when you meet the character, Brendan Fraser's character. He was just like laughing, you know, and it's just like, buddy, this is a movie that is dealing with morbid obesity, and you're just like, again, just not
literally why he keeps his camera off in the very beginning of the scene. You know what I mean? Like he's teaching a class and his camera's off, you know, and over here, the moment when he starts, there's a dramatic moment, spoiler alert, in The Whale, where Brendan Fraser's character is kind of defeated, so he goes on an eating binge. Right, yeah. I mean, it's kind of sad. Tough to watch. It's sad, it's upsetting, it's tough to watch. And he was just like, "Oh, let's go!" As he was like getting into all that. Yeah, let's go. My God. I was just like, Jesus Christ, dude. So that was, anyway, all that to say is like, sometimes you're just not going to be able to avoid that. You know, it's like a lucky or unlucky pick, you know. But when it works, it works really well. You know, you feel the vibes of everybody. Yeah.
His chances are slim. You go to a Marvel movie, you also have to go in there with the expectation that there is going to be a larger audience. A lot of that audience is going to be a younger audience, you know. But like adding these prices doesn't sort that. It doesn't fix that. If that was going to be a complaint, you're not really doing people any favors by making the worst seats in the house cheaper. Other than like, it's like a condolence prize. Like, oh look, you didn't buy your tickets ahead of time. Sorry, you got to sit up front, kind of thing. Which is what happens now with the system that's in place. So why you would deter people and charge people who actually do care about going to the movies ahead of time and like reserving their seats by punishing them by charging them more? Yeah. When ticket prices are already kind of soaring, like if you're paying for an IMAX or a 3D or a Dolby theater, I understand that because you're actually adding something to the experience. Right. But if you're really just squabbling over where you get to sit, that just kind of pisses me off.
Yeah, they're going to start doing this in New York and a couple other places.
Yeah,
and then it's going to ripple effect by the end of the year, is what it said.
Do you think it will? For right now, do you think it's like, do you think it's going to be more experimental at first, and then to see how? Because you're starting in a place like New York, and I already know that ticket prices in New York and major cities like, I'm sure, LA,
Right.
The prices are already ridiculous.
It's very interesting because, yes, once this sets a precedent, I think this could be something that other theaters adopt. And there's been a lot of pushing people to see how much they'll pay for things kind of situation.
Absolutely.
I mean, yes, it's experimental, but do I still think people are going to show up in the theaters? Probably. Will people potentially pay for it? Probably.
Yeah.
And I think it'll get some boost of a profit.
Yeah.
And I think other theaters might adopt it. Maybe not all of them. Maybe you'll have one theater that's going to be like, no, this is a communal theater for all. And that's how they can kind of bring in their audience to differentiate themselves from AMC.
Yeah.
But it's kind of scary, but they're pushing us to see how much we'll pay for something like this. You know?
Yeah.
And also, I also think that you're right. It's going to be more expensive, and it's getting more expensive, like in New York. But with AMC Stubs, the A-list subscription, which is about $24, which I have, $24. If you're going to go see an IMAX for $21, if you're going to prefer Sightline for, let's say, $16, what's to say that maybe I should just get the AMC A-list, pay $24.
Right.
Because I'm already paying $18 for the preferred Sightline. I'm already paying $22 for IMAX. If they have preferred Sightline on top of the IMAX screening, I mean, that's going to get really bonkers. So if I'm put in that position, I would say, sign me up for A-List. And then now you have a bunch of subscribers coming into A-List who potentially don't go to the movies every month and just forget to not pay their subscription. And now you're kind of getting continuous money flow. Is maybe how it is. I mean, it kind of sucks.
Possibly.
But...
Yeah, no, it does. It really does. And I was just thinking, like, what is this arrangement based off of? Like, some people just like to sit at the back of the theater.
Right.
And potentially you could be paying more or less for something that you've just always done. There was a time, depending on the movie, I would sit in the front row, so I could be more fully immersed.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
Again, depending on the movie, and that's and that's just trying to get the full experience of the film. But like, if you're doing it out of preference, like, okay, some people like to sit close to the edge, next to the stairwell.
They do, because they can go to the bathroom,
to the restroom or whatever. Yeah, and it's just like, okay, so incidentally, just based off of what people are used to or what their comfort level is, they're going to have to pay more or less based off of that, just because it just so happens to land right in the premium section or the A-list section or whatever.
It's basically pushing the moviegoers, the people who love movies. It says, thank you for coming to the movie theaters, but now you're going to have to pay more. You're the ones keeping us in business, but we're going to have to pay more. Because everybody else, because everyone else who's on the outskirts, they're like pretty chill. They're just like, I don't really care. I need to go to the bathroom. I want to But the middle seat people are the committed ones, and now they're paying the price. So we're
the suckers. I know. And that's the other thing too. It's like the people who are committed to the movies, who will show up on random days. It's like they're getting punished. Really.
I wonder if they're gonna have the matinee specials and the Tuesday evening. I wonder if it'll stick around or if it's gonna still be there.
Yeah.
I
don't know. I told you my local Edwards that I'm going to, that I tend to go to, which has the IMAX and everything. They've been refurbishing the whole theater, and they've been doing so in sections. And on one half of it, they now have, and I don't know if you've seen this at maybe other Regals. I know you're an AMC man, but they have this new thing called the VIP.
Oh, what is that?
Seating. So basically, whenever you go down the corridor to your screen, right, they now have it split off to the regular screens, I guess, or whatever, and then the VIP screens, where they have a bar. The bar is not available to everybody else.
Whoa!
Even though you still have to pay for drinks. The bar is only behind the VIP section area, whatever. You have bottomless popcorn.
What?
And bottomless fountain drinks. But this, along with your ticket, I think the only other thing that's different, I'm trying to look it up now, Aside from those,
is it for IMAX screenings like those?
No,
like
no. It's not. It's not exclusive to any kind of format. It's purely just the bottomless, and then there's like a lounge area over there
and
too.
you pay extra for this VIP experience.
This is very much extra, and I'm talking about nearly $30 a ticket. I'm trying to pull it up now.
Oh, okay. Time out. So if I pay $30 a ticket, am I going in already? That's covering the popcorn cost, right? That's covering the popcorn cost. That's covering the soda cost.
The ticket, right? Okay. So sorry, I just pulled one up for a showing tomorrow for Knock at the Cabin.
Okay.
For one adult VIP, it's $27.
What's the normal price?
27.
Okay.
27 at around the same time. 11:03.
11:03. And with the 27 VIP, do you get a free popcorn? Well, quote unquote free popcorn, but a popcorn is included, correct? Or what else?
Popcorn, I believe so. You have access to those things. Like I know there's an open fountain machine that you can refill your drinks, and popcorn machine. And that's it. That's the inclusive part.
Okay.
Or the included.
I'll say if I'm already thinking about getting popcorn and soda, I would get the VIP ticket because it's like, well, I'm getting that anyway, and you're kind of bundling up my theater experience. But if it's like I have to pay for the soda and then I get bottomless, well, then I mean, kids are already stealing soda from the fountains anyway.
Tell me about it. That's
popcorn,
what I'm trying to figure out.
More popcorn. I feel like I always have to ask for a medium because their larges are too large. You know,
too large.
Who goes for more popcorn?
That's the other thing is who's and then who's wanting to fill up on soda throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's just these you already have the rewards cards, and I think rewards work. Yeah. Obviously, you and I are both
using our rewards.
I went to see a movie last night for free. It was great,
amazing.
But you start adding these extra levels. Because do you guys have the iPick?
The iPick.
Are you familiar?
No, what's the iPick?
So that's like a fancy theater that we have here in Houston. It's similar to Alamo Drafthouse, but it's fancier.
Okay.
And when I say fancier, they have two different styles of seating. One is kind of like a booth to yourself. It's like a 2-seat or a pod, rather, is better way to describe it.
Like the Senate in Star Wars. Everyone's kind of in their own little pods.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's kind of not completely, but it's closed off from your neighbors.
Okay.
And it's 2 seats per pod, and you get food and drink service, obviously. But you have to pay for the food and the drink, and that ranges $45 maybe for 2 tickets, and that's just to seat. So it seems like that, down, and that's a unique once in a blue moon theater trip. I mean, more power to the people who do that on the reg. I could not. I remember going to a theater screening, probably Alamo Drafthouse, but I remember how small the screen was, and I was just taken aback. I was like, "Wow, this is really just someone threw up a projector, and I'm in a room." Yeah, because the seating is much more spread out. I feel like. Yes, yeah. I mean, obviously they have to have people walking through, and you have to have space to eat, and then also the sound quality isn't as good. I told you I saw Babylon at an Alamo Drafthouse, and I felt like the sound quality was not as good. Was if I had been at just a regular one or even the Dolby. Yeah, we've been so spoiled. I feel like I do now. I want to go to a bad theater and really soak in, appreciate, pick it apart. Appreciate what I have, because I am spoiled with all this top of the line sound, top of the line visuals, because I know some people in LA, they like smaller theaters or these cute venue looking places, but I just never find that the pictures and the sound equal
I mean, yeah, it's a corporate company, but they are standardizing and they are giving me the top of the line quality and sound and visuals. So
exactly,
that's what I'm going for.
Yeah. And my point with all of that is just simply that there are formats that you can pay more money for.
Right.
But to start sectioning just the seats within a theater, I think you're just gonna scare people away. Number one, you're gonna frustrate people. Number two, it's just like people who show up and just wanna, who again just aren't in the know like you and I, and go in expecting a seat. They realize that they can't buy, or they don't want to spend money on a certain seat. They go in, the theater's maybe empty.
Yeah.
And they're just like, nobody's here. What the fuck does it matter? You know? Like, I don't know. It's...
Well, you're not...
I'm not the only one. No,
you're not the only one. Yeah, you're not the only one. Elijah Wood has also commented in this...
Mr. Frodo.
Mr. Frodo Baggins himself. He says, the movie theater is and always has been a sacred, democratic space for all. This new initiative by AMC Theaters would essentially penalize people for lower income and reward for higher income. Elijah Wood. Yeah, I mean, this is looking like when you buy concert tickets or plane tickets. This is the experience that you're getting. So, I don't know. I don't really have much else to say except this is going to last. And I wonder if they're going to probably. If I was them, I would kick it in on a big blockbuster movie, summertime, when people are coming in droves for.
Yeah, God. I mean, like what?
Like Guardians of the Galaxy. If that comes out, people will see that.
I guess Ant-Man is the next big thing, and that's next week. But like,
you're
gonna test some people. That's for sure.
Yeah,
though.
Absolutely.
I hope. Well, I hope it turns around.
I do too. We'll I'm not hopeful, but you know what? AMC A-List is a great subscription if you want to join. Not sponsored.
No, they're the bad guys, Luis.
They're the bad guys. My bad. Well, the movie theater business isn't the only one that is taking a hit, so they're making some changes. Streaming is also making some changes. Just wanted to recap some things that have been happening. Just since 2019, there have been 5 to 6 major streaming services that have started. Apple TV Plus started November 2019. Same with Disney Plus. Peacock started April 15, 2020. HBO Max, May 27, 2020. AMC Plus, June 2020. And Paramount Plus, March 2021. So you have all of these kind of grouping together, starting together, doing their initial 2-year run, 2-year run, throwing a lot of money into their programming, throwing a lot of stuff behind it, trying to replicate Netflix, just like other people try to replicate the Marvel strategy. Everyone's replicating the Netflix strategy, but just like the Avengers, Netflix is 10 years ahead, creating all of this content, and so people are rushing to greenlight so much programming so that people can come to their streaming service. And Disney Plus lost $1.5 billion in streaming and is expected to be profitable late 2024. Warner Brothers is just in general is in it was $50 billion in debt. Okay. And then Dave Zaslav coming here, cutting costs, cleaning that place up. Netflix lost subscribers for the first time last year, and now it's all fluctuating. And, linear TV with cable networks, everyone's cord cutting. So no one's really going on there unless you're getting YouTube TV or Hulu TV or buying like DirecTV Now or whatever it's called now. People aren't going on there. So now they're not getting as much eyeballs for advertisers, and everybody is kind of really suffering. And the only ones that are more experimental is Netflix, Amazon Prime, because they're not just a streaming service. They are other service. And Apple TV, they're not just a streaming service. They sell phones and have a credit card. So they're not reliant. It's these companies like Disney, like Warner Brothers, like Paramount, which is what I'm going to talk about now. Paramount had some big news with Paramount Plus. We all know Showtime. Showtime is part of the Paramount family. Viacom CBS finally became Paramount. And Showtime is now called Wait, what is it called? Hold on. What is it called? What's it called?
Time.
It's now called Paramount Plus with Showtime. Is the new name.
So catchy.
It's so catchy.
It's like, hey, honey, I'm just going to go put on Paramount Plus
with Showtime.
With Showtime.
So this is what's happening. Of course, when you got Paramount Plus, Showtime was a bundle you could already have, and they're going to keep that. But they're going to basically take Showtime. They're marrying the family more together. They are, let's see. They're going to keep the linear app. They're going to keep it on TV. They're going to keep it on networks, but they're going to be able to bring Paramount Plus shows to that. They're going to limit and cancel a bunch of Showtime shows. And Ed, you know what? To simplify this, Ed, do you know you got Hulu, right?
I do.
So you know how they have FX on Hulu?
Yes.
So FX is always the premium brand, quote unquote, the HBO brand, you know? So This is the same thing where Showtime is going to be the premium brand on Paramount Plus.
Hulu also has, for the US anyway, it has all the R-rated content that Disney inherited through their 20th Century Fox, right?
Exactly, yeah. And FX was 20th Century Fox, so now they were able to adopt that and make that their premium format channel. And so I wanted to let me find this quote here. Can I find it? Let's see. So this is the first of its kind to integrate streaming and linear content in this way. So now they're going to lean towards, since nobody's watching this stuff, Warner Brothers is going to do this. Showtime is doing it. They're going to franchise shows that work. Okay, everything is about franchises now, Ed. Franchise. Yeah. So for them, it's Dexter. For them, it's Billions. For them, it's Yellow Jackets or things like that. Yeah. So what they're going to do is they're going to make up to 4 billion spinoffs are in the work. Kid you not, Ed. One of them is
4
called
billion?
One of them is called Millions.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were just like over-exaggerating.
Sorry, no.
They're going to make 4 billion spinoffs.
No, I'm sorry. You're right. Okay, there's a TV show
named Billions.
Named Billions.
And you're making 4 spinoffs from that? That's crazy.
Billions. Okay. And
what do people talk about Billions?
Well, you know what? You really got to lean hard into the stuff that succeeds, that works for them. So Billions is one of the shows. They're spinning off 4 shows from that show. One of them is called Millions. Okay. And another one is called, can you guess?
Trillions?
Yes.
Trillions?
Are
they going to have a poor version where it's just thousands?
Thousands? Yeah. They're going to also, what's another Showtime show that you think would have a franchise?
I think
it's Showtime that was popular.
Banshee? Isn't Banshee a Showtime show?
Yeah, but not that one. But was that popular? Was everyone humbumming about that?
I know the people who liked it loved it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It was one of those like...
But it wasn't a water cooler show. What was a water cooler show?
Oh, I'm very out of touch with Showtime.
I'll tell you...
Wait, was what's that trashy?
No, are we gonna say Weeds?
No,
no.
God, God help us. I used to watch Californication.
Oh, you know what though? I think they might. I think there was talk about maybe Californication.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is the one I will say.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry,
Dexter.
You mentioned it a minute ago. Yeah, I should.
Yeah. So Dexter, they're going to have an origin story that does something like that. They're going to look at exploring the backstories of other Dexter characters. There was a killer called the Trinity Killer that they might make a TV show out of this character. So all that to say is that they are folding in Showtime, losing all these people. They're not a network anymore. They're a studio. Right. So they're going to be creating all this premium content for Showtime. And then little by little, who knows if the name Showtime will stay or if it all will just become Paramount Plus. I think it'll stay to keep that premium factor, but it's definitely there's a lot of shifting. The sands are shifting. You know, we've seen HBO Max dropping content. We've seen them dropping shows. So these are crazy times.
We are. It's just like people are determining what we can and cannot watch again once it's already been out. you know?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, but I will say this, man, as soon as the news dropped, whenever they announced that Showtime would be merging with Paramount, was just because I've been like, kind of on the fence about maybe signing up for Paramount, if only to like go through like the Mission Impossible films, the Godfather films, Indiana Jones films. But you know fucking what? And we talk about it all the time.
I don't think Indiana Jones is Paramount.
It is Paramount because the famous logo, like the start of each movie, has the Paramount symbol that fades into an image in the film. Luis.
God, are you right?
I am so right.
Yeah, but it's a Lucas... Hold on.
Well, it's a Lucas film, but it was produced by Paramount for the first 3 films.
I am losing my shit here.
Yeah, you've seen Indiana Jones, right?
Yeah, I have seen it, but it's been a while. Yeah. So wait, can I not watch Raiders of the Lost Ark on Disney Plus?
No, you cannot. No, Disney Plus does not have it. No, but what I was leading into was the reason I held off of like signing on the dotted line was, one, I saw it was going to join with Showtime, so I figured maybe I'll wait. And then, wouldn't you know it, Amazon Prime drops all of the Indiana Jones movies. I also just got Peacock recently.
Why'd you? For Poker Face, right?
Yeah, and me and Sarah just can't do commercials anymore.
I can't do it either. I can't. I signed up. This is what I mean, Ed. They're pushing us to say, how far will you pay?
Suckers.
I can't. I'm too fancy for commercials.
But Peacock also has the Godfather films right now, amongst other things. So I was just like, well, that's it. That's all I was going to get Paramount for. Right. Maybe I want the Mission Impossible, and really all I want to watch is Mission Impossible Fallout, and then Top Gun Maverick. But maybe I'll just end up renting Top Gun Maverick. It's not like a huge deal for me, you know. But
I think I might know someone who can get it for you.
Is it you?
Yeah.
Wink, wink. Okay. But yeah, it's like these movies are constantly in rotation for the most part. Now, granted, there are some, I know Showtime had The Green Knight and Everything Everywhere All at Once go to them when they started streaming, and they haven't shifted, even though they are both A24 properties, and HBO has that A24 thing going on. So it stands to reason that they're going to do the rounds eventually. Maybe, and it's a contractual thing. Yeah, well, that's what I mean.
It's interesting too because what they used to do is they used to license out these movies to other places. You know, I make a movie, Con Air, I'd license out to TNT, and then I'd license out to E, and then license out to different people, and that's how a lot of them would make money because they would, you know, E or somebody would give them like thousands and thousands of dollars and millions of dollars for them to run this for a certain amount of time.
Yeah,
you know. And that's what actually HBO is doing. That's what they took down Westworld. They took down these other HBO content, and people were freaking out about it. It's because they're now licensing Westworld to other platforms so people can watch it there. And so that's a way, even if it's a Paramount thing or A24, whoever is making their rounds because they know people will license for that. Sony doesn't have a streaming service. You notice that how difficult it is for people to watch, you know, the Spider-Man movies or any other Sony movies. It's because they don't have a streaming service, but they license it out to every single person. And Showtime, was it Showtime or Stars that had Spider-Man?
Stars, yeah.
And so they would just spread their content everywhere, which sucks for consumers. Great for them.
Yeah. I mean, that just furthers my point is like more so that I'm a sucker because I have Stars as a subscription under my Amazon, under my Prime account.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
I don't know what else to watch Stars for. What is there to watch? Like that's the one.
They tend to have like that's the thing. It's like it all rotates. That's but like at the time when I did sign up for it, it just had a number of great movies that I wanted to
But
watch
you,
it.
you weren't there. You weren't there for Stars like originals, like for TV programming Stars.
No,
you were
that's
there
the thing.
for
I do not watch any original content from Stars whatsoever. It's all just movies that they happen to have in their library. And every now and again, a movie will pop up where I'm just like, oh, thank God for Stars.
Yeah.
But it's so rare and few and far between. And HBO is constantly churning out great movies, as is Netflix, even though they're trying so hard to lose their audiences. Hulu obviously is getting that cycle from 20th Century.
Yeah.
And I have all of those. I got rid of my Criterion channel for this shit. But all that to say is, like, it is very unnecessary. And I should get rid of my Stars because I don't use it enough to merit it. So, I don't know. Yeah. Streaming sucks.
Yeah, so
give us cable back.
It's crazy. I mean, I just to finish us off, this is a unique thing because, well, I don't see HBO Max. HBO doesn't put HBO Max shows on HBO, does it?
Yeah, because I forgot there was like that divide.
Like, there's a divide. Yeah. Because this Paramount Plus with Showtime. So say you do have Hulu, say you have YouTube TV, say you still have DirecTV, you can go Paramount Plus with Showtime, and you'll see Showtime shows and Paramount Plus, and that's what they're doing. They're kind of marrying the two together, so you can get your streaming stuff on network TV, on cable TV. But
right. That's just like basic HBO, and you don't have access to the entire library that HBO Max has, which is Max is the TCM, the DC, and all of that stuff,
Cartoon,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just everyone's franchising, everyone's making the hits, everyone's trying to get people in there. It's a wild time.
Yeah, the Wild West of streaming services.
We had this comfort era of 2 years where they were just like, do whatever you want, we're going for it. And now it's like, shit, we got to make money.
No, and you have to make choices. They're holding a gun to your head and saying, all right, who's your favorite? I was just thinking, you were listing all the dates when all of these fucking streaming services started. I'm starting to think that these streaming services started the pandemic. So we would all sign up when they had the prices super cheap, and it's like, oh, that's great, I can watch all of these movies instead of going to the theaters. And
Release
now we're just
Corona.
like, I got you, bitch, and you've invested. You want to sign up for a year? Oh, don't worry about Paramount Plus over there. We got these movies. Yeah, no, it's a complete mindfuck.
I bet they housed a bunch of people with COVID and just released them to the public.
Exactly.
Every so often, you know what I mean? A dark cabal of people, of streamers coming together. So like, well, okay, shall we release the third phase? Delta phase?
Delta phase, yeah.
Release the Omicron phase.
People are getting ballsy. They're trying to go back to the theaters. Nope.
Get the streaming back in.
Yeah, actually, let's stop
Netflix
releasing Pixar. Oh, man, yeah. God. Wow. Well, we just uncovered a huge conspiracy.
We're going to dive into in our new podcast, the crime behind streaming.
Exactly. If we don't show up on our next podcast, it's because we're dead.
Yeah. The sinners of streaming, the sins of streaming, the secrets of streaming, I'm brainstorming now.
The streaming conspiracy. The stream conspiracy.
Yeah.
The stream conspiracy.
Yeah, so anyway, listen to our new podcast, The Streamspiracy. But before you do that, we're going to talk about this trailer called Paint. Ed, what's Paint?
Yes, Paint. So it usually comes in a liquid form. Okay. And you can apply it using paintbrushes, sponges, or even your fingers. Paint is a movie. They just dropped a trailer on Wednesday. Featuring none other than Owen Wilson, and it's kind of I'll read the synopsis and we'll draw the comparisons. Kyle Nagel, a local treasure with soothing whisper of a voice, hosts his own painting show on Vermont Public Television. His art has attracted the attention of many women over the years, especially those who work at the station. However, when a new painter gets hired to revitalize the channel, Carl's own fears regarding his talents as an artist are brought to the forefront. So, I think most people are just going to instantly assume, as me and Sarah did when we started this, was that this is a movie about Bob Ross. And the similarities are like not subtle. Yeah, it's like the soft-spoken artist with a massive afro, and he just paints, but it's told in a kind of indie comedy form, and it's like what the synopsis sounds like. It's not looking at his life, and I don't think this is drawn from his life at all. But it seems like a fun, quirky comedy. It's got a fun cast to it, too. Along with Owen Wilson, there's Wendy McLendon Covey, who, if you're familiar with the Goldbergs or Reno 911, she's awesome. There's Stephen Root, Michaela Watkins. Let's see. Anybody else I recognize? Nope. But so it's not like a massive cast, but it looks like a fun little.
It's a fun independent film distributed by Independent Film IFC.
IFC, yeah.
So we always think Owen Wilson, yeah, and Owen Wilson's great with these kind of like independent films. I mean, he started on independent film with Wes Anderson, and he's kind of stuck around keeping that vibe. But it's funny, we always think independent, we think A24 now. But, before that, it was IFC. Before that, it was Focus. Before that, it was Neon. Before that, so there's all of these other...
IFC was the channel at the end of all the HBO channels.
Yes.
Like, if you were scrolling, and then, boom, indie channel. Yeah.
I remember they created their own shows, too.
They did, yeah.
IFC channel. Yeah.
Oh.
It's a fun trailer. Check it out. It comes out April 7th. So it'll be a good time. We got some quick news here. Ed, hit me with some quick news.
Okay, you've heard of the EGOT?
Yes. What's an EGOT?
And for those of you who don't know, an EGOT is somebody who wins what people consider the top prizes in basically every industry of entertainment. So you have the Emmys, I'm going to try and do it in order, the Grammys, the Oscars, and the Tonys.
Yes.
And there is a much coveted title of being an EGOT winner. And unbeknownst to basically everybody that was even a possibility, Viola Davis won a Grammy at this year's Grammys.
I couldn't believe that.
Thus making her an EGOT title holder, I guess.
I didn't even know you could get a Grammy for audiobooks.
No, neither did I. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll find that category. I was just like, I'm pretty sure she's not a singer. Maybe she did sing a song this last year, but no, she got it for an audiobook.
And I think this might make her the 18th person to ever achieve an EGOT.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
I mean, and people are constantly talking about, as far as like crossover as in the industry go, I mean, not a whole lot of people qualify that. Like, you'll see actors in movies and TV a lot, and then potentially in a Broadway show or something like that. But rarely do you see them crossing over into the music industry and vice versa.
I didn't think audiobooks could crime your way over there. You know what? It's interesting. I found out that somebody else had somebody else got a Grammy because of it. Was President Obama. President Obama has a Grammy for his audiobook. Yep. He has an Emmy as well. So he just needs an Oscar and a Tony, and he will also have an EGOT. He was also president, so maybe it'll be PGOT.
PGOT.
But and I think he got a Nobel Prize as well in there, so PenGOT, I don't know, but he's close to achieving it. I was like, that's insane. I don't know you can get a Grammy. So good for Viola Davis. Congratulations on getting that EGOT.
Yeah. No, it was a nice little surprise. I didn't watch the Grammys, but I'm happy for her. She's a queen.
DC Studios presents Waller, featuring the EGOT.
Yeah, do you start listing that?
Yeah, EGOT actress Viola Davis.
Viola Davis.
I mean, it takes it to
yeah.
the top on an HBO Max show.
Yep.
That's high credentials there.
That is high credentials. You needn't say anything else. It's just
nothing else.
EGOT.
The only thing I will say is that The Last of Us will air tonight. Today's a Friday. Episode 5 will air tonight because Super Bowl Sunday is obviously Super Bowl Sunday, and they're gonna take everyone's eyeballs. Like everyone's gonna be looking at them. Everyone's gonna be watching the Super Bowl. So they decided to say, "Hey, we're gonna move up early," which is great because we're gonna enjoy a new episode of The Last of Us.
They've been enjoying these numbers every week.
And if you are also enjoying The Last of Us, next week we're going to do a mid-season review. We're going to potentially bring in our friend Steven Escobar.
Oh, yeah.
To join in on a featured discussion. And that's what I'm excited for. But Ed, is there something that you're excited for that came out in the news recently?
You know, Luis, I love getting excited for things that I cannot afford.
Right.
And, that disappointment just keeps coming with Lego. But all that to say is I'm super excited for this new reveal, this new Lego set that they've revealed for a return to The Lord of the Rings with a set of Rivendell. Rivendell, the elvish city where Elrond resides. I'm just seeing if you were...
I am. I thought you were asking me. I was like... you should know. I do know. I know Rivendell.
Before I start listing a bunch of names,
I know Elrond.
Anyway,
yeah.
It is a stunning set. It's 6,000 pieces. It includes 15 minifigures, which includes
That's crazy.
The Fellowship, all of the Fellowship, so 9 plus characters like Elrond. You got Bilbo, and it's just a paltry $499. So again, it's a little high. We've talked many a time about how high I would go, and that's a little too high for me. But it is a gorgeous looking set, and if you're a fan of the Lord of the Rings films or books or Lego, you'll understand why. It's got a bunch of setups for the different scenes from the movie, including the Council of Elrond. And yeah, it's just a good looking set, man. I was super excited to see it. I do kind of hope that they kind of do a re-release of the Lord of the Rings stuff, kind of like what they've been doing with Harry Potter sets. And like I said, if they look as good as this, I mean, I'm here for it. I just cannot readily afford a $500 set, nor justify it, really. But you know what? Anybody who wants to send us one, Punch Drunk Nerd,
send it to us, Lego, if you want. I will build this set. We will build this set live,
and we'll talk about it. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it for 2 or 3 months. You know what I mean? A whole quarter. We'll talk about Lego. This set, this whole time.
I would literally get a tattoo of Lego if you guys sent me this set. So you heard it here first. You send us a free set of the Rivendell set, I will get a Lego tattoo.
Wow! I want it, Ed. I want that Lego tattoo for you.
Challenge.
This is, it looks really great. It's got the tile work. I mean, look at the tile work. It looks incredible. I love the autumn colors, the greens, it's really cool. And there's so many minifigs here too. I wonder if the Bilbo one, if you flip it around,
it does.
It does.
It does. It's got the creepy face, Bilbo.
Dude, yeah. Okay, good. So they know what they're doing.
They do. I mean, that's the wonderful thing about Lego. It's so detailed. So, it's a gorgeous looking set, and it really captures the movie. It's great.
I honestly thought it would have been, I guess 500 is the perfect price, but I was surprised how cheap it was. I thought it was going to be more expensive because I saw it.
I was afraid it was going to be more expensive, I'll be honest. It's hardly a bargain, but it's...
Looking at it, it's very much like, let's see, because there was the Hogwarts Castle Lego, right?
Yes.
That one had a lot. That was $469. So This
But
is,
that's like,
this is the same.
yeah, that's like I think it came with minifigures, but the castle as a whole was like a smaller
Version.
version, because obviously they were trying to include the whole castle,
Yeah.
as opposed to whereas this is just kind of like a section of Rivendell,
Yeah.
and it's proportionate to the minifigures, whereas the castle is not.
Yeah. Well, this is
So,
very cool.
very cool.
Lego, please send it to us and he'll tattoo.
I hope so. If only for that. And it's out. It hits stores on March 8th.
March 8th.
So.
I want to see. Let's see. Lego.com. Because sometimes they sell out.
Oh, yeah. You can pre-order that shit.
You can pre-order it. And then it will be. Wow, it's not on their front page. What's going on here? New in 2023. Where is it? Oh, they have a Star-Lord's helmet. That's pretty cool. $80. Okay, anyway, I'm getting distracted. Anyway,
Louise.
To wrap up the news, Disney's coming out with some sequels. We're going to get Zootopia sequel, Toy Story sequel again, and then a Frozen sequel. Yeah, that's it. So there's no feature discussion today. Obviously, we didn't want to review 80 for Brady, so we're not going to do that. But next week, we're going to do a mid-season review of The Last of Us.
Yes.
Let's do a quick what we're into, and then we'll wrap this thing up.
Hell yeah, baby. Luis, would you like to lead the charge, or would you like me to?
I'll start. I finished the Willow series on Disney Plus, and it's nothing like the movie, I will say.
Okay.
So
I will say now, I've never seen the movie.
You've never seen the movie?
I've never seen Willow.
It's very charming. You should watch. It's on Disney Plus.
Okay.
It's a charming movie.
I might. Okay, so there are a bunch of those similar kind of fantasy epics. Yeah. This is the one that had Tom Cruise, or
This had Val Kilmer in it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. And this is one. It has like one visual effect where it turns from a tiger into the sorceress, the woman. And that was like a huge thing. We saw, you know that because we watched
the documentary on what do you call it?
ILM.
ILM, yeah.
That's right. Mm-hmm. So you'll get to see, cinema history when you watch Willow, Ed.
Okay.
So it's got Val Kilmer, Warwick Davis. Warwick Davis is great. I mean, really the reason why I even watched Willow was because of his charm and personality and his presence on screen. And then the rest of the cast is like, like a teen. They're doing this for teens. You know what I mean? Which isn't bad. I mean, the show. That's what Lucasfilm's about. Inspiring the youth and a heartwarming story that you can do this and giving people hope. So it totally makes sense. It's geared towards teens while also satisfying some needs for people who liked Willow. It feels very D&D-ish, where you have different people who have certain abilities. I'm a sorcerer. I'm a barbarian. I'm, somebody who cheers everybody up. Yeah, exactly. You have everybody filling different roles. They're a big team. When before with Willow, well, I guess you had the little guys too. Before with Willow was Val Kilmer. It was very much Val Kilmer and Willow himself. But here it's like a whole squadron of people that are on this journey to, once again, stop evil. So, I mean, it's like I said, I liked Warwick Davis' involvement.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. It was entertaining every time he came out. It was a fun little thing to put on, but it definitely is not like the movie, and it's its own thing, and it's geared towards, a
younger audience. Is it, they only have one season of it?
One season, and I think there's going to be 3 seasons in total.
Oh, okay. Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Would you say that the movie was appropriate for children or not really?
Oh, interesting.
A little dark?
I think it could be a little dark. I think it could be a little scary.
Yeah.
I think there are a little bit of scary moments because the evil sorceress, she can really spook you. Okay. So I don't know. Maybe put it on just to like get the ball rolling. And then maybe when it gets too spooky, see what happens. Okay. Because It starts off a little bit intense, not too intense, but then
I'm
it gets really
thinking-
fun.
Yeah, and see,
all-
that's what it feels. It's like fun fantasy adventure, but like
Yeah,
that's the weird thing about the 80s and 90s is like they went hard on like nightmare fuel for some movies. Like
it was like this is fun, great creatures, and then really mixed in there like dark, bitter,
intense shit,
terrifying characters. Yeah,
I know, or like devastating moments.
Yes.
Like I'm thinking of like The Princess Bride. There's like that creepy rat thing in the forest. That was kind of scary and intense.
Yeah.
And we tried watching that with Lily. But yeah,
Never Ending Story.
Don't get me started about that. I'm like,
I won't see that movie again.
No, it's like traumatic. Absolutely. So yeah, no, okay. It's so very much of its era, but could be fun.
Definitely doesn't lean, I think, as traumatic as the movie was. You know, it's a little bit lighter. But yeah, you know, I was into the actor, and so I jumped in. That was Willow. Ed, What about you? What have you been into?
All right, so the first one is we all went to go see Avatar 2 over the holidays since we were all in town together.
Yes.
And since then, it's been on my list to rewatch, kind of to maybe reaffirm my feelings of it, but also to just kind of experience it one more time.
Right.
And yeah, I saw it in 3D, not IMAX this time. Just good old 3D, and it's still such a beautiful film. It is still very silly and still very weird. The whole premise of it is ridiculous, but I just couldn't help but get swept away. I felt like the story was much more endearing than the first one. The characters, because of where the characters are and what they're facing in this film, it actually felt like there were real stakes involved for all of the characters. I think the children characters do a really good job of kind of taking over the mantle, and yeah, I just like such breathtaking visuals. Like I get emotional every time that the Tulkuns come into the screen, the whales, absolutely. And it, like the first time you go into the water, it's incredible, and you just want to stay there. It's so beautiful, and I got emotional several times throughout watching it, and the action is good. I mean, you could never fault James Cameron for having bad action, and the action, like I said, the stakes feel higher in this one because it's more personal. Yeah. So when that last hour comes, it's just like, ugh, it's intense. It's great.
It's intense,
and it is great. Yeah. And I didn't take Sarah this time, again, because I was also trying to maybe, just double check myself before I was just it's a great movie, you need to see it.
And then you watch it again, you're like, oh no, I don't.
And then she'll never trust me again.
So now you're going to rewatch Avatar 2 again with her in the
potentially
theaters.
Because I would not want to take her to see it if we couldn't see it in theaters. Right. And like when I tell you I really want to take Lily to go see it, but I do believe it is way too intense for kids. Yeah. At least of a certain age, like she could not handle that, and because there is there's like death, a lot of death, there's a lot of drowning. You're having to explain drowning to a 4-year-old.
Talk about that like whale hunting scene. I mean, that's
but devastating. Dude. Yeah. So no, I won't be taking her. Maybe when the next movie comes out, they'll have a re-release.
Oh, they will.
Theaters. Oh, they will. James Cameron loves his re-releases, man.
I mean, we had the before the Avengers or even Endgame, they played all they were doing that. They played all the movies beforehand.
Yeah.
In Avatar, you watch 2 back to back, and it's like, my God, 6 hours of the day.
Yeah.
It's like it's a whole work day just by watching the trilogy.
That is, literally. So, but no, it was really good. I was so happy with it. I think, if anything, the story's still holds it back sometimes, but overall it was just thoroughly entertaining. And if you haven't seen Avatar 2 yet, please go see it in theaters.
Yeah.
And just sit back and enjoy the ride. Don't take it too seriously. It's actors playing blue aliens with tails and cat-like features on a different planet, but goddamn, if you're not transported there, it's so beautiful. Couldn't recommend it enough. And I get the hate, but also this was the movie where we've talked about it, where just I get it now. I get the vision.
I know. We get yes.
And like, I could hate the third one. But I have
this one,
Avatar: The Way of Water. It's so good.
The Avatar 2, Top Gun, and potentially Everything Everywhere all at once. I mean, you have 3 movies that are must see in theaters. I put Everything Everywhere because it's such a spectacle to see.
It is.
I added in there, and also a great theater experience to have with other people. I mean, the air was palpable with everyone feeling that movie. Top Gun, it felt intense. Avatar 2, we were amazed and in awe. These are in-theater movie experiences, just like Gravity, just like Interstellar.
Absolutely.
Next year, Oppenheimer is what I'm imagining is going to be.
Ooh,
and potentially Barbie as well. I think having those bright contrasted colors, one can only hope. I mean, the big scale. I mean, we've already seen the trailer. Yes, it's imitating Space Odyssey? No.
Yeah. 2001, yeah.
2001. And so, it's obviously making reference to an epic thing, but, we can see it filling the screen and kind of creating some awe in there too. Absolutely. What else? You got one more thing?
Yeah, unless you wanted to do the back and forth thing.
Oh yeah, well, okay. I got.
Well, you haven't seen anything. I don't know what the fuck this is, so I am curious.
This is a printer. Our printer broke down, so we got this Epson tank printer. Okay, I just want to talk about this for a bit.
Because I had to Google it for a picture earlier, so I was just like, is he actually talking about a printer? It's like, sure enough.
I'm talking about a printer. So we had an HP printer that broke down. I tried to fix it by hand, didn't work. And
printers seldom do.
I know. So, but it was running hard for a couple years. And the cartridges are very expensive. So then we looked at this one, Epson tank printer, and when you get cartridges, they're like $40, a pack. And you got to get black, you got to get cyan and yellow and magenta.
Uh-huh.
And this one, the tank, you just put like a good, 8 ounces. That's too much. 4 ounces. 6 ounces. Like a good chunk, googly gug of ink into this thing. That's why it's called a tank. It's called a tank printer because you're literally just dropping a bunch of liquid in there. And they say on the box, it's like 2 years worth of printing. How can you tell what's 2 years worth of printing? I could be printing a lot. But regardless, you are dipping all this thing in there, and the refill is so much cheaper. So you're not buying, and it's also eco-friendly. You're not buying a bunch of plastic pop in there with a limited amount of ink. This is like a squeeze bottle. You just flip it around, and it automatically fills up this tank. Anyway, it looked cool. A little bit pricier, but listen, you're going to save money on the end with all the ink you're spending.
You know what
sponsored.
though? That's some community service right there. People are always complaining about printers and their fickleness. I can't tell you how many times our family went through printers, but when I had to look this one up earlier, it looks like a printer, but from all the things that you're saying, that's pretty cool. That's cool though. It is cool. It legit can, if you're not like blowing it on like printing or like these high definition pictures all the time, and you're just printing like Word documents and stuff like that, that can last you. That can last you a long time. Yeah. So potentially, I guess we'll have to check back with you in a couple of months and see if it's still going.
If you Epson, if you send Ed an Epson tank printer, I'll tattoo a printer on my...
Yes. There you go. The guy doesn't know what he's missing. It's like, oh yeah, man, we committed to 2 tattoos. What do you do?
Yeah. Just in 10 years' time, we're gonna have a sleeve of tattoos just full of brands that have bought us
that we never got money for. Oh man,
one-time deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Well, there you go. Your printer recommendation from
Yeah.
Louise, Epson tank printer. And they
Okay,
are
and
they're a handsome
what do you
looking
got?
printer. All right,
What do you got to
lastly,
wrap us up?
all right, lastly, we had our Oscar nominations the other day, so I'm trying to like see
Yes.
the rest of them out. I still haven't seen Women Talking, but I went to go see Living, for which is nominated for 2 Oscars: Best Adapted Screenplay and Best Leading Actor, Bill Nye. This movie was actually just like a really short and sweet and very nice movie.
Okay.
Just to give you a quick rundown, it's basically about a British bureaucrat in the, I want to say, 50s, 60s,
Okay.
post-war England, probably
Okay.
50s, and he works at a county hall, and he gets diagnosed with terminal cancer or something like that.
Okay.
He's basically doomed to die, and
Right.
he's given roughly about 6 months. And you know, we have seen those movies where you know people know they're going to die or are dying, so they go out on these like grand adventures or these really illustrious trips and stuff like that. This isn't that movie. It's way more just personal. He's you know, a man in his 70s who, you know, his wife has passed on. He works the same job every day with the same gentleman every day. It's a very monotonous lifestyle. He has a son who he doesn't really have a strong connection with, and they live in his house, and they're kind of wanting him to, you know, move on or whatever.
Right.
And so with this diagnosis, he decides, or at least tries to live a little bit,
Yeah.
you know. And that again, it's not over elaborate or anything. He takes one night to go out drinking with a stranger, and there's a girl who works in his department who incidentally leaves his department, but she was kind of like a small ray of light within that job, and so he kind of clings to her as kind of like a guiding light of, you know, what should I do with my life? Like you
Oh, interesting. She's like
you're
the.
and it's not in like a weird creepy way. It's purely just, I don't know, uh purely just out of a longing to be, or yeah, a longing to be happy and to maybe just experience that just a little, and maybe some fulfillment in his life. And he works in a department that deals with a lot of budgetary requests or whatever from the city council. And you know, in particular, these group of women are trying to have a little park built in kind of like a torn up side of town.
Right.
And you know, repeatedly getting lost in the system. They're getting referred to different departments within the whatever. And so anyway, he makes one last ditch effort to get it put together. So that's it. I mean, it's like an hour and 40 minutes, and it's just like a really subdued but really quietly beautiful role from Bill
Yeah.
Nye. Like, it's, you know, I see why he was nominated for Best Actor. He's not going to win it, but it was. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just like
Right.
there are front runners, and if you know you learn anything from the Oscars, they like their front runners. But
They do.
this was a very good movie. It's a very quiet one. Oh, and I do want to shout out the cinematography is actually really beautiful in it by
Okay.
Jamie Ramsey, and you'll know this guy. He did the cinematography for See How They Run last year, also.
Oh, interesting.
But it's not. It's the cinematography is not like that at all. It
Right,
feels
right, right.
like
No, I could
it
totally.
feels like a movie from like the 50s.
Okay.
And yeah, it has like a lot of like interesting angles and setups.
Yeah.
So
Okay, well that's exciting.
It's a beautiful. It's on top of anything, it's like it's a beautiful movie to look at. And I will say this: it was adapted from fuck me.
I have it where it's adapted because I looked it up as well. Oh, you find it?
Yeah. No. Have you got it?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and say it. Sorry.
It's adapted from a 1952 Japanese film, Ikiru, directed by Akira Kurosawa.
Right. Who did Rashomon and The Seven Samurai and stuff like that.
Which in turn was inspired by the 1886 Russian novella The Death of Ivan Illich by Leo Tolstoy. So that movie was inspired by this one.
Adaptation, yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
I like it. Akira sorry, now I found it, idiot. All right. But yeah, so that's it. It was, like I said, just it is definitely like one of those performance-focused films. But it was surprisingly nice. It didn't feel tedious or slow.
Right. I'm gonna have to watch it. We luckily have a DVD of it at home.
Oh yeah, you got a screener.
Yeah, because luckily I'm graced with Sarah's screeners since she's in this Screen Actors Guild. So,
and he was nominated for a SAG. Yeah.
Yes, he was. So. And I also can't wait till she gets the nominees so we can work together. No, I'm kidding. So that's our show, everybody. This is Punch Drunk Nerd. Tune in next week when, again, we're going to talk about The Last of Us. If you aren't caught up with The Last of Us, catch up with The Last of Us so you can enjoy the conversation that we're going to have. We're going to be a mid-season discussion with hopefully Steven Escobar. We're going to try to drag him out. You've seen him. You've heard him. His voice on our House of the Dragon shows. Mm-hmm. So he's coming back to talk about The Last of Us. Next week we'll get Miguel. We'll double up. We start with 2. Next week, hopefully 4. But until then, it's been me, Luis Gonzalez, and with me has been...
And Ed Bull.
That's right. I tripped you up because we don't have Miguel.
Yeah, I was so ready to say and Ed Bull. No, it's just Miguel, me. Just me, Ed Bull. Just
Ed Bull. Yeah.
Cocking it up as usual. Here we go.
All right, until next time, I see you.
I see you.